It's yours truly, TJTV. Today I'm back with another video today, as y'all can see by the title. You know I gotta stay updated on my rap drama, so today we got Lil Durk in the building. I think this is his first time on the channel. I'll be rocking with Durk, y'all. Everybody be asking me, Durk a young boy, bro. I don't pick a side, I listen to both, bro. I'm not about to dick a nigga who don't even know I exist, but yeah, with that being said, if you are new to the video, do be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications so you can, and we'll get notified whenever I upload. Yeah, let's get straight into the video.
Indictment starts by introducing what prosecutors call the Banks Gang Enterprise. Federal prosecutors allege that Durk Banks, known professionally as Lil Durk, along with several co-defendants and associates, were members of a criminal organization involved in murders, attempted murders, robberies, and drug trafficking. The government is essentially laying the foundation for what resembles a racketeering case. They are arguing this wasn't a collection of unrelated crimes, but an organized group operating together. So they've already identified OTF, but now it's like they're trying to make Durk's team of special forces seem like an elite group aside from OTF. The next section focuses on OTF or only the family. Prosecutors acknowledge that OTF was formed around 2010 as a music organization that produced and promoted hip-hop artists from Chicago. However, they
if I'm not mistaken, I think that's the same year I think Durk had got signed. He had started rapping. I think he was rapping before that. He had got signed in 2010. Because I know he got locked up not too long during it. After his rap career took off, he had to cut his dreads off. Let me know down in the comments below. I don't remember.
Claim that a subset of people connected to OTF formed what they call the Banks Gang Enterprise. According to the indictment, this group allegedly committed violent acts at Durk's direction, and in return, members were rewarded with money, jewelry, music opportunities, and elevated status within the organization. This is important because prosecutors are trying to establish motive. They are arguing that alleged violence wasn't random, it allegedly came with rewards. And who are they alleging was in charge? Who are they saying was the Larry Hoover, the John Gotti? Who are they saying was the top guy? The indictment identifies Lil Durk as the alleged leader of the enterprise. Prosecutors claim other named defendants and co-conspirators were members, associates, or
bro, they only doing that shit because he the breadwinner, gang. If he wasn't a breadwinner, bro, he would not be at the top of the chart, bro.
Affiliates. The government alleges Durk recruited individuals connected to the Black Disciples street gang and brought together people from various Chicago neighborhoods under this enterprise. Again, prosecutors are attempting to show organization, structure, and leadership. And they wouldn't just be laying out the foundation of a full-on RICO and a mafia-like group, they would also give the purpose that the group served. According to the indictment, members allegedly used violence to protect Durk, protect the enterprise, maintain influence, retaliate against rivals, and control territory.
I mean, ain't that just like how a gang's supposed to work? Especially if your partner a breadwinner, he feeding the group. Like, ain't that how it's supposed to work? I'm tripping. Like, ain't that how every other rap group work?
Government specifically points to rival groups, including alleged Gangsta Disciple members, as targets. The indictment repeatedly claims that violence was used as a tool to maintain power and influence. And it would seem one of the biggest hits that OTF or the Banks Gang Enterprise took was the death of Vaughn. One of the biggest themes throughout this indictment is the November 2020 killing of King Vaughn, who prosecutors describe as a close friend and associate of Durk. The government claims that after Vaughn was killed, members of the enterprise began planning revenge against people they believed were responsible. One individual identified as Taekwon Bowman, aka Quando Rondo, became a central figure throughout the indictment and seemed to be #1 on the hit list. Prosecutors claim multiple murder plots were launched against Quando after Vaughn's death. The indictment says Durk and other alleged leaders recruited people willing to commit violence for the organization. Federal prosecutors claim individuals were brought into operations specifically to carry out attacks against rivals. This section is important because prosecutors are trying to show an organized chain of command rather than spontaneous acts. So not only was it just within the Black Disciples, the feds are alleging that this well-structured organized group reached out to whatever hitman they could find in order to execute the killings they were willing to reward.
Damn, bro. They wanted that nigga head bad, bro. Which is understandable because King Von was like one of the uprising artists besides Durk, on some like actually up that type shit. But they got sloppy with it, trying to hire any killer they can. I mean, yeah, but I guess when you want somebody here, to a certain extent, how far you willing to go, you know?
They even used sliders or hot cars to get this done. One of the more detailed sections involves stolen vehicles. Prosecutors claim Durk funded the purchase of stolen cars known as sliders or hot cars. According to the government, these vehicles were used during shootings because they were harder to trace. The indictment also explains terminology prosecutors claim members used. Ops, meaning rivals or enemies. Sliding, meaning carrying out attacks. Drills, meaning shootings or violent missions. Federal prosecutors are attempting to connect alleged coded language to criminal conduct. And the indictment would go even further as the feds start to detail the funding of the organization. Prosecutors claim Durk financed firearms, flights, transportation, drug trafficking, and rewards for violence. The government's theory is that financial support helped secure loyalty from members and encourage violent acts on behalf of the enterprise. In 2019, there was an Atlanta shooting, the first specific act of violence listed as a February 2019 incident in Atlanta. Prosecutors claim a dispute over a stolen vehicle led to a confrontation. According to the indictment, an attempted robbery escalated into a shooting that left a victim wounded. The government alleges Durk was present and participated. That allegation will likely become a major point of dispute moving forward. And it's shocking to see this because of course they're speaking on the shooting that Durk and King Von allegedly committed but beat in court. And it was even said at one point in court that Durk could be seen on video firing the weapon.
They say around 5 in the morning on February 5th, Lil Durk, whose real name is Durk Derek Banks, and his co-defendant Devontae Bennett were seen on camera involved in shooting Alexander Witherspoon, a person police say they knew.
They were hanging out. They went to a studio to make music.
The rapper and Bennett listened to the evidence against them in court. Police told the judge later that night the victim, Banks, Bennett, and others went to a nightclub, a gas station, and ended up in the parking lot of the Varsity. That's when Witherspoon said he was robbed and shot.
He said his chain was snatched off his neck, and he had $30,000 stolen from him, and they stole the vehicle he was driving.
Police say Banks was seen on tape shooting a gun.
You see Mr. Banks' arm out the window firing several shots at the victim, towards the victim.
Banks' attorney says this is a celebrity witch hunt.
When he beat the case, then it came out that they allegedly would have continued to pursue a conviction against Vaughn, but Vaughn died before they could. Next, prosecutors described the murder of a rival gang member in Chicago in January of 2022. The indictment claims 2 co-conspirators committed the killing and later discussed receiving payment. One of the most notable allegations here involves text messages where prosecutors claim individuals discussed waiting to receive money from Durk. The indictment also references a February 2022 music video shoot where prosecutors say Durk appeared with approximately $1 million in cash. The government suggests this event is connected to alleged rewards paid to participants. And of course, the music video
Bro, that don't mean shit, bro. That man could have been given back to his hood, bro. That man could have been given back to his people, gang. That don't mean shit, bro. They reaching on that one. I ain't gonna lie to you. They reaching on that one, bro. They don't, like, unless you got evidence, bro. They reaching on that one. That man could have been given back to the hood just like Vaughn did, bro. Like, come on now.
They're talking about was the same setting that Durk sat down with Gillian Wallow on $1 million worth of game. Literally, that $1 million was used in a music video, and allegedly the leader of the gang in which the two guys went and killed another guy was in that music video. Durk allegedly had the leader of the shooters in the video with him. And the feds are trying to piece all of this together as more examples of Durk paying for blood. Now, the indictment would go back to Quando Rondo, but this wasn't in LA. This time, this was in Georgia. Prosecutors claim members of the enterprise attempted to kill Quando in Georgia in May of 2021 as revenge for Vaughn's death. According to the government and the fact that Quando was still alive, obviously they were unsuccessful. Now, the Los Angeles shooting is the centerpiece of this indictment.
Shots fired, a fight taken to the streets, and this chaotic scene, the ending of a shooting that started in Los Angeles, California. Sheriff's deputies pulling out a man who had been shot in an SUV. Savannah rapper Quando Rondo, a passenger in that car, frantic at the sight. It all started at this mobile gas station at 5:30 Friday evening. LAPD says witnesses heard multiple gunshots, then watched a couple cars zoom off. 3 people in one car shot at this black Cadillac Escalade. It's unclear if those inside shot back.
Damn, hold on, let me see.
LAPD says witnesses heard multiple gunshots, then watched a couple cars zoom off. 3 people in one car shot at this black Cadillac Escalade.
Damn, they hit all window. All window. Damn, all window. Nigga had aim assist, brother. All window. You don't see no bullet holes on the truck. All window, bro. Damn.
It's unclear if those inside shot back.
Can I get some space, please?
It ended at Santa Monica Boulevard. Deputies found it peppered with bullet holes and a shattered window.
Prosecutors
Shit, that's
alleged that in
one,
August of 2022, multiple defendants traveled to California to locate and kill Quando. The government claims flights were purchased using OTF-related funds, vehicles were obtained for surveillance, ski masks were purchased, firearms distributed, and Quando was tracked around LA. According to prosecutors, the alleged operation ultimately culminated at a Beverly Boulevard gas station. And this would lead to the death of Lil Pab. Federal prosecutors claim that when shooters opened fire at Quando's vehicle, Lil Pab was struck and killed. This death forms the basis for the most serious charges in this case. The government argues that although Quando was the intended target, Pab became the victim of the attack. The indictment repeatedly references music videos, social media posts, lyrics, and text messages. Prosecutors claim members celebrated violence, mocked rivals, and promoted their reputations through music and online content. Expect this area to become one of the biggest legal battlegrounds because defense attorneys will likely challenge how prosecutors are using artistic expression as evidence. And that's for sure going to be one of the most controversial aspects of this case because this isn't like they're beating around the bush. They're descriptively talking about murders and dead people and flat out dissing them in drill songs. But because it's on a beat and it's not a conversation over a phone or a conversation over...
I be telling my partners this shit, bro. Like, bro, niggas be too direct with the diss nowadays, bro. Like, what are you doing, gang? Like...
a podcast, it's considered artistic expression and it's supposed to be protected.
Artistic expression.
Which, to be honest, sounds crazy because everybody knows what the fuck it actually is. Now, one of the most damaging allegations in the indictment is the claim that Durk placed bounties on individuals. The government alleges people who carried out hits would receive cash, jewelry, music opportunities, appearances in videos, and increased status within OTF. Prosecutors are using this allegation to support the murder for hire components of the case, but text messages would also be included. Among them, I can't let this slide. Vaughn dying turned me into a different animal. Don't book no flights under no names involved with me. Later messages discussing potential informants and concerns about cooperation with law enforcement. The government presents these messages as evidence of planning, coordination, and concealment. The defense will almost certainly challenge the meaning, context, and interpretation of those communications. Now, count one of the indictment is murder in aid of racketeering. Count one alleges that the killing of Pab was committed to maintain or increase status within the alleged enterprise. This is one of the most serious federal racketeering charges in the indictment. Count two is a stalking conspiracy. Count two alleges a conspiracy to track, surveil, intimidate, and ultimately kill Quando. This count includes the detailed timeline prosecutors provide regarding flights, vehicles, communications, and surveillance activities. Count three is interstate stalking resulting in death. This count alleges that interstate travel, cell phones, vehicles, and other facilities of commerce were used in a campaign targeting Quando. Because Pab died, prosecutors are seeking enhanced penalties. Counts 4 and 5 are simply murder for hire. These counts accuse defendants of using interstate commerce to facilitate a murder for hire scheme. Prosecutors argue that financial rewards and future economic benefits were promised in exchange for carrying out the hits. And count 6 is a firearms charge. The final major charge alleges defendants used firearms during a crime of violence. The indictment specifically alleges one weapon functioned as a machine gun through the use of a switch. Federal firearm charges are
they try to hit him with that switch charge. Wow. Lord, bro. Y'all out here be thinking putting them buttons on them guns, cool. Trying to tell y'all, bro. Minimum is 10 years, buddy.
Often carry significant mandatory penalties if proven. And the final section of this indictment deals with forfeiture. If convictions occur, prosecutors say they will seek money connected to the alleged crimes, property connected to the alleged crimes, the firearms and ammunitions involved in the alleged offenses, and the substitute of assets if original assets cannot be located. Meaning whatever money was used to commit these crimes and fund these crimes, the feds want it. And if they can't get it from what they've recovered, they're gonna send Durk the bill. The biggest development in this third superseding indictment is that prosecutors are laying out a much broader theory than a single shooting. The government is alleging that an organized enterprise existed, that violence was rewarded, and that the murder of Pab was the result of a coordinated plot targeting Quando. Whether prosecutors can prove these allegations remain to be seen, but this filing gives the clearest picture yet of the government's case against Lil Durk and his co-defendants. Durk's lawyer Drew Findling would respond to news of the superseding indictment with a post shared to Durk's Instagram reading, "This indictment is lipstick on a pig. For nearly 2 years now, federal prosecutors have desperately tried to fend off challenges to a very weak case. Now, just 2 months before trial, a trial that Durk Banks has demanded at every turn, they pull this pathetic pivot, recycling old accusations into a scrambling prosecutor's backup plan, alleged racketeering, and as many unrelated false claims as possible. This is not a sign of strength. It's an acknowledgement of weakness. The fact remains, Durk Banks is innocent, no matter how many indictments they want to throw at him." It would seem prosecutors reiterated much of what has already been said, adding on other incidents to delay trial, giving themselves more time to build up their case and secure the most punishing convictions. And to be honest, it's a dirty game, and the feds are known to play these dirty games. I mean, not even just the feds. Look at what's happening with YNW Melly. He's been locked up for what, over 7 years? And you have to understand, when you pay an attorney, it doesn't just end. These are continuous payments. You have to have continuous funds.
I ain't gonna lie to you. My words for Durk and Melly, bro. I think the only two niggas who can say them, bro. I think the only nigga who could say them, bro, Jayama, bro. You gotta get him on the case, bro. You got to. He work his magic. You gotta get him on the case, bro. This nigga Melly been locked up for 7 years and they don't got it. Like, come on, man.
It's not like they just give you a set bill and that's done, because when new shit gets added and extensions get brought on, you need to keep funding these attorneys. They will try to drain you and drag this out as long as possible until you're not able to afford the Drew Finlings and the Brian Steeles. And then at that point, they're ready for trial. They got you hooked because you don't have that legal backing. The fact that Durk with his legal team are ready for trial and the feds are trying to throw in any little thing that they can to delay this, I agree with his lawyer that this is a sign of weakness. But again, if the feds are able to convict on any of these charges, it's pretty much over with for Durk. None of these charges are minor. None of them carry minimal amounts of time. Durk is literally fighting for his life, and he either gets to keep it or loses it entirely to the federal government. But let me know y'all's thoughts and comments in the comment section. It's 1090 Jake. I'm rocking with y'all.
Alright, y'all, that's the end of the video. Leave y'all thoughts in the comments below. Let me know what y'all think. Me personally, I'm screaming free Durk. You feel me? Yeah, do be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications if you are new to the channel. With that being said, I'm about to get up out there. I'm gonna rock out with y'all.